Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome on back to the Existence Podcast number 35. My name is ItsPurpleJay, and today I am joined by the lovely mcpeachpies.
Hello.
The ever-fantastic iGalaxy.
Hello.
And the morbtacular Noelle.
What's more than morb heads?
So, I believe we actually have a release date for the next major update, Minecraft 1.19, which is kind of what we are going to be talking about today.
The wild update.
Yes, the wild
and mild update.
The wild and mild. I really like that. I haven't heard that.
Great, I coined it. It's mine.
Claim. Copyrighted.
June 7th. So what, like just over a week away?
For us, that's just over a week. I believe it's Monday, I think. But that's Tuesday. That's a weird day to release an update. Middle of the week. But yeah, 1.19 is coming in just about a week, and there's some great things about it, I think, for sure. But there's also some letdowns, for sure, letdowns.
Well, not letdowns, but more like left out.
Yeah, that's a much better way to put it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like every feature there so far has been
pretty cool.
Pretty fleshed out for the most part. Pretty cool. I'm excited for what they're adding, but it feels like there should have been more.
I think the name is misleading. That's my biggest gripe with it, I think. Like, if they'd called it anything else, like the Deep Dark update, which, I mean, that's a bit on the nose, but, like, you know, they had the Frostburn update. I'm sure they can handle calling something the Deep Dark update.
Well, I think when they named it the Wild update, they had a much larger scope for the update because they had like concept art for like updating other biomes such as the birch forest, but then they never got around to that because it was too much for the update with the release schedule. And so now the name feels like it's supposed to belong to a bigger update, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's part of the problem is that they announce these things so early now because they announced them at because it was like October Minecraft Live when they announced all this stuff. But like in the past, like I remember, what was the first, like the exploration update? Was that the first one they had like an official like title name? Because like other ones have like they've all had names.
I believe so.
But I feel like that was the first one they had like
the first.
With the you know, where it had like the Minecraft logo and then like the name below it, like the subtitle. Ever since like then, I feel like they named them during development. Like they didn't name them first, did they? I don't remember.
They named them like pre-development.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the names are decided during like the brainstorming phase.
Yeah, but I feel like
I could be wrong about that.
The way that they've structured updates now is so much more like official game development, where it's like every update is like a really big deal now. That they have to like flesh out all these ideas beforehand and give everything a title and like build expectations and you know how like every snapshot now is like a huge deal.
I don't mind smaller updates. I just wish they would like not give us such a big scope for an update and then not deliver on it.
Which I think is,
it feels like that's become almost a pattern for the past couple updates. Like, I mean, I've joked around a bit about it, but a lot of people are calling this update like Cave and Cliffs Part 3.
Because, yeah, we are getting features that were promised for, well, not promised, but were originally going to be in the like first part of the Caves update.
Well, yeah,
exactly. Like, 1.17 was supposed to be this massive update, Caves and Cliffs. And yeah, the Warden, all of the ancient cities, the Deep Dark, that was all meant to be another cave biome that we would have gotten in 1.17 even. Like it was initially supposed to be one whole update. And then they were like, well, no, actually, we're going to be splitting this. Hey,
time well spent. And survivalist.
Very epic. Patrick just hit 100 hours on the server.
Woohoo. 100 hours.
But,
nice.
Yeah, like a large amount of the features we're now getting in the 1.19 update were promised for 1.17. And I would say that's about half of them with like the deep dark. And then the other half, which is kind of like the swamp improvements, were promised just years ago in one of the first initial biome votes.
To be a Mojang apologist for a second, the Warden update the Deep Dark that we are getting is a lot more fleshed out than what was originally planned for 1.17. So we are getting more Deep Dark content than we were originally supposed to. Like the Ancient Cities, I don't think those were ever planned.
True.
For 1.17.
Well, they were never announced. When the initial talk about the Deep Dark and the Warden was happening in like the 1.17 Minecraft Live, we actually never even saw anything except for a couple of videos of the Warden. So we never saw like, well, I think we saw how Skulk was going to work too, but like we never saw biome concepts or
we saw
even
Deep
cities
Slate,
at all.
and that's about it.
We saw a Deep Slate, and that was pretty much
candles.
it. And, yeah,
Candles
I was kind of presumed that was going to be the Deep Dark, but
because they were working on like Skulk sensors and stuff back in 1.17, weren't they?
Yep. Skulk sensors were included in 1.17, even if they.
Uh-oh. I was hoping that would get the zombie, but it died before the TNT.
I hope that audio got picked up on the podcast.
I can imagine.
At least the explosion particles.
I've rigged my microphone to explode.
Don't you worry. There'll be a bonus clip on the somewhere. Oh my goodness. Will this be Noelle's first death? Oh, my pot.
I'm being very careful and equipping my armor when I hear TNT go off.
Yeah, I've got it.
Do we test your reflexes?
I love how you've been just staring at the camera the entire time.
Wait, have they?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, almost the entire time. I looked at you for a second.
But
I think it's we should look back on, because we're talking about how everything was like promised during, well, as a Cave and Cliffs thing with the Warden and all that. Let's take a second to look back on actually how 1.17 developed into 1.17 and 1.18, and now we're getting these things in 1.19. Like how that all kind of flows, because I feel like Alex is saying, like we got so much more stuff fleshed out now with the Deep Dark in 1.19. It kind of makes 1.17 look even sadder.
So, can you really call the Ancient Cities fleshed out, though, when really all it is just a new structure?
That's fair. One of my biggest gripes about the Ancient Cities is the lack of new original like items that you can get from there, like an incentive to go there and actually conquer the Warden and the Ancient Cities.
There is no incentive
well, we
to
do,
go there at all.
There's the recovery compass and the new disc, and that's about it.
The issue with the recovery compass is that like you're gonna have it on you when you die. Like,
well,
no, not if you're smart.
Maybe.
I just don't understand. I understand why it's there. I understand that it can be useful, but it seems like in most use cases it's not useful at all.
Well, I guess the smart thing to do with it would be to leave it like at your spawn point,
in an item frame next to your bed or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're fleshed out. Go
Sorry.
ahead. What were you going to say?
That requires you to survive the Ancient City and actually return to your spawn point before you can actually use it, though.
Yeah, and at that point, you're already endgame Minecraft.
Yeah, yeah. I guess, fleshed out might not be the right word, but, like, properly, further developed. Whereas, like Jay was saying, in 1.17, the Warden was just like a mob, or like a mini-boss. There was no, like, all we knew about the Warden is that it could defeat a netherite player. But there was no like actual more than that. It was just assumed that you'd find it like down at Deep Slate level. But obviously we didn't even get like Deep Slate level in 1.17. That was pushed to 1.18. And then when they announced, because was the Warden meant to come out in 1.18, and then they pushed it further to 1.19.
Yes.
So how do we feel about that? Like, would the Warden right now here on existence actually make a huge difference to gameplay? I guess.
No,
Well,
I don't
without
think
further
so.
development.
I don't think.
For existence, no, because our like main quote unquote gameplay loop is
I hate this. I've been. Why does it count AFK time when you're in a chair? I've had
Because
no AFK time until now.
You've been staring at the You've been staring at the camera count for at least 5 minutes. Also, you don't have. Well, you have.
funny.
You don't like. It'll still be 0. Noelle just got AFK time. Like it should say you haven't AFK'd enough still. Does it?
Correct. I'm so
Well,
angry.
Well, now you have the AFK advancements. Anyways, back to what I was saying.
Yes.
The main gameplay loop, quote unquote, of existence is the stuff we build, not the actual Minecraft gameplay.
Yeah, but let me retract that statement. Then, like in terms of like 1.18 survival, I mean, actually now I'm kind of answering my own question. I think in 1.18 with the caves and the cliffs and with the extended world height and all the deep dark, well not the deep dark, but the actual deep slate caves and all that, to come across the warden down there would make going down to those lower levels more interesting, rather than just going, oh well, diamonds are at negative 54 now, so we've got to dig deeper.
That's fair, but also you can just avoid the ancient cities if you want to.
Yeah, but I'm saying like before the ancient cities, before they were a thing, and like when the warden first announced, it was just like we didn't really. Did we know that it like was summoned by like skulk blocks or anything?
We just know that it was going to appear in the deep dark. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So based on that
and
principle,
then like the player would trigger it.
Yeah, I think it would add that little bit extra to, because I still kind of feel like we should have got at least like maybe one more cave biome. I guess we kind of got deep slate. But like, you know, when they did the Nether update, which I think lived up quite well to expectations.
Kind of.
We got there's 3 new biomes, eh? There's
well, I mean, we are technically getting 3 biomes. We're getting dripstone. We got dripstone caves and lush caves in 1.18, and we're getting the deep dark biome now.
I feel like there was so much more that could have been done with the caves and cliff generation. Like straight up, you could have an underground ice cave that would have been significantly better. You could have had underground desert caves, better mesas. You could do so much more interesting stuff underground than just a generic like lush underground cave, and then one where you just find stalactites. Like,
yes,
you got a point there.
I feel like the back when Minecraft was still like newish, it's like they were doing these major like changes, like things that like felt new. Hold on a second.
He's old.
Yeah. Oh, my pig died. No, it didn't. It was just things that like it felt like they were big things that were like actually interesting, things that like you couldn't see in other games easily. And now it's like cave and other cave.
I think we have to be a little bit more fair here. 1.18 was a pretty significant update. Like, the cave generation
I'm not that.
The mountain generation is quite significant.
I totally agree, but I still argue they put this. They did all of the back end work to create the biomes, and they stopped at the finish. Like they stopped just before the finish line.
Oh, I see. So that's how I feel.
And
there was another step that could have been taken.
We've seen vanilla data packs that add in ice caves and desert caves using the 1.18 features. And
I mean,
doesn't even require mods to do now.
Look way back, like Galaxy and Noelle remember, but like Game Mode 4 Public Server 2, when I first started playing on Game Mode 4, you know, they had their Orbis command block module would turn all this like stone to a certain level, I think anyway, under deserts to sandstone. And it was awesome.
Under snowy biomes, I think it was packed ice.
Yes, if I remember right, because I used that to convert my Savannah Island into a snow island. But yeah, it's just, I think, like Noelle was saying, there is another step like that could have been added. I mean, there's still room to do that, I think.
All of the tools are there. It's just I'm annoyed that we have to rely on data packs to get the features that Mojang are away, like the caves. It's raining now. the cave biomes that Mojang are aware we want. Like they know there's community interest for like ice caves and that. But we just haven't gotten them.
I've seen like comments. I can't remember where I saw it, but like people saying like even like little things like put cobwebs in caves.
Yeah.
Put more random vines or like just variation a little bit more. Like there is like huge variation. Like when Noelle and I went and found those copper caverns, like the cave systems were insane.
Yeah, no, the actual like base cave shapes were really cool. It was something. This is my I haven't played 1.18 before I got in existence. I've been in 1.16 still. So seeing these massive caves that were just like stretching from like the base of the earth, and I could look up and I genuinely felt fear of dying from anything falling down on me. That was a cool feeling.
Yeah.
But that is everywhere. That's not a unique experience.
Yeah, and you walk into a cave and it's still just a cave.
Yeah.
Like it's still just a tunnel of stone until you get to Deep Slate, and then it's a tunnel of Deep Slate. Unless you come across like a lush cave. I'm having a complete mind blank. What is the other biome called?
Lush cave, dripstone cave.
Dripstone. My brain just did not want to something spiky. Yeah, like, and like I love the lush caves and I love the dripstone caves, but the fact that you can just like, I mean, yeah, you enter a dripstone cave by Jay. You enter a dripstone cave and it's just lots of dripstone. At least the lush caves, like, there's a lot of valuable resources in there, like lots of glowberries and clay and moss and axolotls and drip leaves and all that carry on.
My favorite building block, axolotls.
The lush caves are surprisingly fleshed out, and the addition of moss and moss carpets was huge to Minecraft. I think that it was so funny that they added light blocks in response to people wanting to be able to use like weird lighting systems that were invisible. Like one of the most common things for creative builders was to use end portals as light sources.
Because you can't see the underside.
You couldn't see the underside. Now you can. But they added glow light, and it's like, okay, these are really useful, but they're very dim. They added light blocks in response to the like a genuine need, and I wish that they did more stuff like that overall. It's like
more map making things, or doing things in response.
Just more both, more customization features and more just response to player feedback. The most responsive player feedback we got recently, player feedback in heavy quotations, was that frogs eat fireflies and they're poisonous, so they die.
Oh, it's like parrots all over again.
They removed fireflies because instead of going with the option to not have frogs eat fireflies, they decided to remove them entirely.
Is that what? Like, I know that's been said.
Genuine reason.
They didn't add them because of that, or they didn't add them as well as that kind of thing.
They didn't add them because fireflies are poisonous to most species of frogs. That is a reason they gave for it.
It's like parrots all over.
It's a very silly thing.
At least with parrots, like you can still kill the parrot with Coke chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
They just, I find it bizarre that they cut an entire feature for that reason alone. Like, there were so many other options that could have been done to prevent that from happening, and to they want to keep like the appeal of like, oh, this is still like realistic. But here's another issue.
Game.
Yeah, here's another issue. They have added. Let's see. They've added the polar bear. They've added other mobs like the polar bear, the pandas. They've added useless mobs that have no function, just to like, quote, educate their kids. That's good and all. Give the mobs a use. They're just filler. They're nothing. They're adding nothing features, and it's sad to see. And they won't actually like take the final stretch on multiple updates.
Can we light the fire again? I'm cold.
And I feel like there's some sort of they feel like they can't revisit older updates and add to them.
Yeah,
and isn't that like, exactly what they've done with 1.19 though? Well,
I mean, that's really 1.19 is finishing their unfinished work.
Yeah,
Yeah. I would see every biome tweak as that.
But because I think... Go ahead.
It's like we've been promised the swamp for like I said before, years now. Like we're still waiting on things like the desert improvements and mesa improvements. Like when are we getting vultures? When are we getting
emus, ostriches, whatever it was?
Yeah, like palm trees were another thing that we were supposed to be getting. Like all these really cool promised features, and we still don't have them. Even more recently, like bundles were cut from the 1 point from Caves and Cliffs.
So I think they've just been forgotten about.
Bundles are cut for a good reason because they need to keep in mind they haven't figured out a way to make them usable on touchscreen players.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's a genuine reason, and I understand and I support that, making sure that everything is like accessible for every player on every kind of system. But definitely like things like you were explaining how like they were kind of finishing their mistakes. One of the examples for like it just felt unfinished. Why are azalea trees oak? Like
yeah.
That's a great example.
Yeah, I hate it so much. And the same with like, they've added mangrove trees, which I think is awesome, and the mangrove biomes look really cool. But swamp trees are still just oak trees.
Yeah, that's so bizarre to me.
Which has been in the game for like ever. But they could, just a little thing, like they could just make them. Mind you, they really need to reorganize the creative menu or do something with it, like sub-menus. But
honestly, yeah, I agree. Like,
how many wood types do we have?
A lot. One of the things in Bedrock Edition they have is in the creative menu. It's like sub-menus. You open it up and like you click it, and then it opens up a menu for all the types. So it would be like that for stairs, slabs, like wood types, stone types.
And sorry.
Go ahead.
I lurk in the Fabric Discord a lot, and I've seen people. I saw somebody showcase a mod that adds those submenus to the Java Edition creative menu, but I don't know if they're going to release it or not. But I saw somebody was working on that.
Here's another good one that was forgotten. You reminded me. Archaeology. Whatever happened to that?
Yep.
Just abandoned.
It's just like that. It's like another aspect of the original. I understand scope creep. I understand the idea of like we have ambitious plans for this. I understand the idea of wanting to do something big and then realizing I have gone too far in this update. But when the updates feel like they feel polished, Minecraft comes out, it feels relatively polished. But when like like I said, like the last step, the final like icing on the cake to show like the attention to detail that it needs. When that's not included, it feels weird to like argue scope creep when it feels like that they cut down the scope too much.
See, what I would much rather prefer, and what I think a lot of players would as well. Yeah, like we've been talking about, it seems like they promised all these features and try and give themselves like a very short time limit. Like, we're supposed to technically be getting 2 large updates a year?
Is that what they've
said?
said?
I think it should be 1.
I think they should just not keep themselves to such a strict timetable. Like, if an update takes longer, like a year or even a year and a half, we're still getting snapshots. We're still getting these features, but like,
just take
the
more time.
development team. Exactly, the development team isn't pressured to like pushing 2 updates out a year.
Sorry,
that would have completely fixed this whole large issue of like Caves and Cliffs being split into 2, and we're still missing features. Like,
different updates take different amount of times, and they shouldn't expect to take the same amount of time for each major update.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. If it takes longer to get fleshed out features, that's something I am personally fine with.
Absolutely, yeah.
But
I feel really bad for all the developers, honestly. Like, I feel like there's so much pressure on them in particular. Like, we say all this as players. Imagine how the developers must feel. Like, not the higher ups who go, okay, you need to do all this and it needs to be done by this. And, frogs can't eat fireflies, so scrap that. There is real people
who... That's a problem.
Bearing the brunt of this even more than we are.
the developers are like the face of Minecraft updates, and when they're not the people who make the decisions on them.
Yes. Like I quite closely follow Sliced Lime on like Twitter and YouTube and all that. And he gets so frustrated every single time he posts a new like snapshot, like changes video or like just announcement. Every single time he adds like another reply to his tweet saying, if you have a bug, report it to the bug tracker. Don't tweet me. But like as Twitter is a lovely place, and we know how kind and considerate everyone is on there. You go and look at any of the replies to like the snapshot like announcements or anything. Half of them are just people complaining.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, like I think we should make it very clear. What we have gotten so far is amazing. Like,
but like Noelle was
1.19, it has a lot of good features.
Yes.
But it's just like, yeah.
It's not wild. It's not wild, but it's also not mild.
It's in like
I thought you called it the wild and mild update,
Yeah, I know, but we've got to be considerate.
God.
And it like you were saying before, frogs are pretty cool, mangrove swamps are cool, the deep dark, while there's not much purpose. It's a pretty like if you found that while caving, you'd be like, this is cool.
This is nice. We are getting like a new light source too. Like,
yeah, kind of a
that was
weird
mentioned
light
before.
source.
Like, lights are kind of weird.
Should we move on to talking specifically about 1.19 in the wild update now? I think we've covered a lot about what's kind of come before this and the history of what's led up to this update. But should we really narrow down now on what actually the wild update contains?
Yeah, I would love to. So like I kind of mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, there are two like main features that the wild update is focusing on. The first being the new mangrove swamps and kind of swamp improvements, and the second being the deep dark.
What swamp improvements? Like they added mangrove swamps, but did they do anything to swamps themselves?
No, except for frog spawning.
Frogs do spawn in swamps now? Normal swamps?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
I will quick take a look at that.
I think that, so the original swamp proposal, like for the biome vote a while ago, had boats with chests, which were added.
Yes.
Mangrove trees, which were added, and frogs, which were added.
Yes.
I just remembered something. Something none of us have even mentioned, and I think that's really funny. The LA.
Who's the LA?
Oh, yeah, totally. Who's the LA? What?
Yeah,
like for the past half an hour, none of us have even considered the fact that it exists.
It is a very cool feature.
Well,
what
is it?
I don't. It feels out of place. It's not forgettable. It feels out of place.
We'll come back to it.
Don't raise your pitchforks.
Let's come back to it. Let's keep talking about frogs, and then we can come back to the LA. What were we checking? Frogs spawning.
Frogs spawn. In 3
variants.
Variants, yes.
But
and they spawn.
So
I'm actually very ashamed that
we've got the temperate, cold, and warm frogs. They
spawn in swamp and mangrove swamps. There you go.
So true. They spawn,
and they can the frog variants.
Thank you, Jay.
Like
when you grow the frog from tadpoles, the variant that it grows into depends on the temperature of the biome. Sorry,
a lot of the time. No, you're good. See, a lot of the time, I pay really close attention to updates and features and how things work. So when the update releases, I know what's happening. That has not been the case with 1.19.
It is not for me either.
Huh? What? Ooh, frogs are here. That's cool. What they do? They jump. They ribbit.
They ribbit.
I don't know.
They're breedable with slime balls. I forgot about that.
Because. For whatever reason, but that is complementary to the fact that frogs attack slimes and magma slimes.
Yes.
Thanks, Noelle.
And what about frog light? I forgot those existed.
Those are really cool because
By Noelle.
It has a purple light source we don't have.
Well, the block is purple.
We have colored lights.
Cool new light sources. Yeah, I was actually transitioning into that.
I like how your pitch just went like up 2 octaves.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like. Look, we got some interesting new blocks. We got mud, which has a very niche case use.
Does it?
I don't really know how to use it, honestly, but like
it adds some variation. They could have just made mangrove swamp dirt.
Yeah.
So and you can make mud bricks. I'm pointing at you all on my screen. I don't know why I did that. Like mud physically pointing. Yeah, I think mud is not as useless. Like, I mean, it's another building block. People will go crazy for that,
I went crazy for Blackstone, and then they added the better version of Blackstone, Deep Slate.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Blackstone.
Because we were struggling so much, like in the building wise, we were struggling so much to get like a darker, like gray. Another issue we have a lot with building is the fact that there's so many warm gray colors. There's not a lot of cool gray colors, if you understand what I'm meaning.
I do. I sell paint for a living. I know exactly what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like, because we have like light gray concrete, which is a warmer gray. We have stone, which is a warmer gray. We have Blackstone, which is technically a cooler black, but like Deep Slate was definitely a huge improvement for that. I have used Deep Slate in almost every single build I've done in 1.18.
Hey, couch potato.
It's crazy. It's crazy helpful.
Yeah, I mean the blocks that they've since 1.16, the new blocks that have been added each update has been reasonably significant.
Oh yeah, the new blocks are bangers. 1.16 added some banger blocks. Oh boy, we got Blackstone. We didn't get blue warped bricks, which is weird, but oh well. The blue nether bricks. Oh well.
Wait, what?
We got some.
Was that a thing?
No, it's just weird that they didn't add warped nether bricks. The blue versions. It's always been a little weird thing.
Because of course there's red nether bricks. I always forget about
red nether bricks. They added so many cool blocks. Like the crimson and warped wood are so interesting to build with. They're very fun to do. And then 1.17 it wouldn't added copper, which allowed for steampunk builds to really come into their own when previously it was extraordinarily limited.
I don't even want to know where those lamb chops came from.
I can't answer. But we've gotten so many cool blocks on the building side recently. Especially because like we're getting stairs and slabs of these versions as well. That's crazy good. I love that.
Yeah, I'm glad they've started because I remember they used to add new blocks, but it would just be the blocks.
That was because of the numerical base IDs.
That's right.
Like you remember, what was it? Was it 1.12? Was it 1.12 or 1.13? Yeah,
1.13 was an amazing update.
Honestly, 1.13 is one of my favorite updates in recent memory.
Yes.
Phase 2.
That was the transition to larger updates.
It was fun. I liked it. That was a fun update to explore.
1.13 is trans.
Moving forward. Like the reason they weren't adding stairs slabs was because of the numerical IDs, and now we have a ton.
Which is so helpful,
right?
A lot have walls.
Not as many though.
Okay amount, but like I wish like with all of these blocks that we're getting, like even ones we have now, I wish we had like more shapes, like walls, fences. What are some other examples? Like
what?
I mean, they added like deep slate walls and stuff, and all
there's deep slate variants. There's walls, stairs, and slabs of all the deep slate variants.
I think that's
correct.
And I love that.
I think there are mud stairs and slabs.
There are.
Yeah, is there walls?
And walls.
Mud bricks.
Mud bricks, not mud. I don't know about mud, but mud bricks definitely.
Mud,
yes, mud brick walls.
There are mud brick walls.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something you're getting better with. But like when we had that large like update that added like all the prismarine stairs and slabs and all that, like there were walls included, but
I felt like it was Christmas that update.
No, that was so
the
great.
Original, when the update where we got all the wall, stairs, and slabs, it felt like Christmas. I was so excited.
Mm.
And there's mods like Consistency that have been, or Consistency Plus, I think it's called.
I actually just discovered that mod yesterday.
Oh, wow.
I just found out about it. Yeah, I had no idea.
They add like all of the slabs, stairs, walls to a bunch of more blocks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You want to know something that I wish Minecraft had? Colored lighting.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. That's been something people have been doing for ages.
I wish that we could have colored lighting so much, and then also having it be controllable with light blocks, like to an RGB value level.
Oh no! Well, RGB, that's 16 million.
They mean with the light block, like
with light blocks.
I want the RGB lamp.
So I remember though. I'm sure I'm remembering this right. When they did the increased world height, it was basically either increased world height or light color variance, was it not? Like they had to make a decision between the two, something to do with technical
performance,
memory allocations or something. I can't remember, but I'm sure. Am I right? Is that something, or am I just like, is that the Mandela effect?
I don't remember, but also I remembered that when they increased the world height, the game started chugging because of how terribly optimized chunks are. In some ways.
Yep.
I remember that being an issue.
What's that mod that like renders chunks vertically as well? It's like cubic chunks or something?
Cubic chunks. But yeah, that chunks and that work differently. Each like 16 by 16 by 16 cube is
sub chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And you don't render the entire vertical, or you don't send the entire vertical chunk to the client when they load it. You send only a certain like spherical area of sub chunks,
which cuts down so much on rendering.
Yeah,
because right now we're rendering blocks at bedrock level.
Well, we're not rendering them, like they're not on screen, like they're not being rendered.
But
they're loaded. They're loaded in memory.
So the server's doing the brunt of that.
The client knows those blocks exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, colored lighting is like the next major step that building can take in vanilla.
Well, like, I mean, at least they added, like you were saying, they added light blocks that look different. Like they added physically different colors, but not like scientifically different.
One of my main projects on Existence, which I've been working on and off, but I haven't started building it, I've just been designing, is a modern city, and colored lighting would be extraordinarily helpful for that, to sell the vibe that I want.
Yeah, I remember you were talking about that.
Ray tracing.
You were trying to... Well, yeah, ray tracing has colored lighting, and I was going to say Noelle was looking for a shader pack that added colored lighting just for that purpose.
Yeah, I couldn't find one because I'm baby.
Weird.
Well, there's shader packs that do that, just not with Iris, because Iris is like in
lightweight.
Infancy. Well, it's coming.
Iris is actively being developed as well too.
PBR support is coming on Iris. Just not
PBR?
Yet. The resource pack features that are needed to enable a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah. Interesting. Coming back to frog lights. Does anyone else think it's ridiculous how to obtain them?
Yes, they're.
Yeah.
It's less ridiculous that there's magma cube spawners, but like, it's still goofy.
What do you mean there's magma cube spawners?
Yeah,
in
a
single Bastion variant, there is a magma cube spawner.
I completely forgot about that.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Update?
No, it was added with the Nether update.
Yeah, to be fair though,
yeah,
I don't know about you guys. How often have you, or how many times have you ever raided a Bastion? Because I don't think I ever have.
Maybe once like 3 times.
Is it
once
Duo?
A world for the advancements.
Is it Duo who like constantly raids Bastions and constantly keeps getting killed by brutes?
Yes.
I enter the Bastion, but I'm never really the first person to raid it.
Yeah. What's the announcement called?
Those are the days.
Yeah, I've never actively gone after a Bastion to raid it, which I think kind of is accountable.
I haven't on this server.
Oh, there you go. I think that's kind of related to the fact that I only ever really play Minecraft on Existence. So by the time I enter the Nether, most people have already explored it. Bring back snapshot survival.
I had to fly out like 1,000 blocks to find a fresh bastion. Because there's another achievement called
Freshly
War
baked.
Pigs, where you loot a chest in a bastion.
Yeah.
But the chest has to be fresh.
Fresh out of the oven.
Yes.
Why is it called an oven when you put cold food in and you out? Cooked food. Stop.
Anyway, one other cool feature that I would love in Minecraft. I didn't even hear that one. I could have died. The day the data-driven blocks get added to Minecraft is the day that Minecraft updates are like. Is the day that Minecraft would theoretically stop adding updates.
What do you mean?
Blocks that could be added entirely through data packs.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So nice.
That begs the question of what is Minecraft vanilla?
Yeah.
And that's a Simply Stark video right there.
Exactly.
That's true. And that's also been an argument we've been having on Existence with every single new world at every single time we look at adding data packs. Because, like, when, you know, my kind of vision, I guess, was that Existence was always very vanilla. But as time's gone on and data packs have become more and more mainstream, we've kind of started to adapt, like, things like, you know, I was always against, well, not against personally, but like having on Existence, like zip lines and vertical rails, zip rails, because they feel very modded. But like nowadays with, you know, the vision of community server and all that's a bit different. I'm still against.
We're sitting in chairs.
Yeah, exactly. I still do not like mob head drops. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, kind of. I just think, yeah, it's excessive. And plus, I've played on a server with mob head drops when it was like a plugin way back then, and they're so annoying.
Look at many.
Look at all the zombie heads we have in the zombie spawner.
I know.
But yeah,
I think that's just because, like, over time, with the accessibility of the ability to vanilla mod your game, like it started off with one-click commands. You remember those?
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah.
And then it became. I still think one-click commands are way easier than a data pack to install.
They are,
but like
you don't have to do anything.
Data packs are so much more powerful, and the ability, the ease of modifying a world just with something that simple, without having to install any other programs at all, it definitely grays the line between vanilla and like a modded experience.
Especially when you see some of the levels people like. Have primarily always made like more utility data packs, or little simple things like with your changes, Noelle, like increased jungle saplings or cheaper chains. You know, those little things like that. That's real nice. And then
copper beacons.
Copper beacons. That's just a fun one. But then, you know, like I've got a lot of utility things like AFK detector and, well, multiplayer sleeping, which is more now of like an additional thing rather than an actual whole thing. But like you look at Game Mode 4 and what they're doing, they're basically and still actively creating this whole like pick and choose, pick and choose, I guess is the best way to put it, like mod pack, essentially. The things you can do with Game Mode 4.
Albert Cauldrons, tons of stuff. Everybody's favorite module, weighted armor.
Oh, bless.
Oh, and desire lines.
One little thing. I've played Game Mode 4 so much back in the day that I like occasionally forget that desire lines is not like a vanilla thing, and I'll like try and actively avoid. I know.
I very rarely, but still occasionally, get scared of bats. I'm not even kidding.
Game Mode 4 induced bat PTSD.
Yes. Am I correct in saying that bat grenades was the Jay? Game Mode 4 was the
maybe it was the first. Bat grenades was the first one.
Bat grenades was the first module. Yeah. Cool. Shall we? Okay, I think we're getting a little bit maybe off track here. Let's come back to talk about 1.19.
Yeah.
We'll continue with mobs. Let's talk about the LA and the mob vote. Very briefly about the mob vote, but more about the LA and the fact that we didn't get the copper golem.
He's here in spirit.
Wait, okay. What did everyone vote for? I forgot the options.
I was a fan of copper golems for copper buttons exclusively, nothing else.
Galaxy, you said cool.
Copper golems.
mcpeachpies, you said?
I was out of time zone to vote, but I would have voted for copper golem. Jay?
I voted.
Choose your answer wisely.
Oh god. I voted for the LA. I thought it was a very cool concept, being able to have a mob that would sort things, especially since now that the LA is here, like non-stackable item sorting is a thing, which is huge for storage systems. Like you can just assign LAs different items, like swords in a gold farm is a perfect example. Like, and then they just sort through them. It's like,
of course, now I have some place to sort all of my Mojang banner patterns.
Exactly. No, but yeah, like that whole concept of just like having a mob that could sort literally anything for you was very interesting to me. And I don't necessarily regret my vote, but I've always been a big I mean, I guess we'll call it a hater of the mob votes or the biome votes. Like,
I think the votes are foolish.
Every time a vote comes around, I'm always in Discord complaining about it. Like, why is there a vote? We should get all three. And like it would ideally it would have been really cool to see the LA and the copper golem and the glare.
Well, the votes are always very misleading in the way they're presenting. And the way they're presented, they're misleading because, like, with the glow squid, we thought we were gonna like get the like a potion effect or something. I thought we were gonna get 1, dynamic lights, and 2, emissive entity texture features. That is why I voted for the glow squid. Not because of the whole dream controversy, but because I thought we were gonna get those 2 features, and we never did.
I didn't even know about the dream controversy until afterwards. Oh yeah, the isolager. Wait, that was a hostile mob.
What I voted for.
Yeah, the isolager was the reason I voted for it was because it would fit very well with the pillager raids.
Yep.
This was 1.17. The mob vote was 4. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they added glow squids in 1.17.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1.17 was the isolager. Was it isolager or no? It was isolager, not isolager.
Yeah.
The glow squid and the moo bloom.
The moo bloom.
I believe I voted moo bloom both times.
We better get the moo bloom someday.
And then 1.19 was the glare, which I don't think anyone really cared about. Well, I'm sure someone did.
Cool as like an ambient mob.
It didn't. Did it literally just fly to dark places?
Yes.
Float.
Mm-hmm.
And then in that same update, we got the feature where mobs can only spawn at light level 0.
See, yeah. Woohoo! And then we had the LA and the copper golem. I think the copper golem was cute and would have been fun to have. I think if it did something else other than push buttons, it would have been nice, but I think, as you can see, you can just see it in the podcast, I may have lined the camera up very deliberately so you can see my copper golem build just behind the set. I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun. Copper buttons would have looked really cool. I will admit it was lacking a lot of features, but in all fairness, most mob vote things have like one feature, which I guess is what you're saying, Jay, is the LA is a bit more complex than any other mob vote we've actually had.
Yeah.
Also, I want to quickly just wrap up with my sentence and saying I really like the glow squid. I think it's a really cool feature.
I do too. I just wish it had more.
I also wish I had more.
Galaxy, gone for good.
I was neutral with the LA until I found out that it was originally planned for the Nether update.
Yeah, that is a very good point to make.
That detail. Yeah, they announced it. Oh yeah, no, this was originally called a wisp, and it would have been found in Soul Sand valleys, which
That's
would
so
have
much
added
cooler.
a unique feature to the Soul Sand Valley. Because
That's
it doesn't
so much
have
cooler.
one. Well, I
like
guess
that a
Soul
lot
Flare.
better. Yeah, I think the way you can find allays, because you can only find them in outposts and in woodland mansions, right?
I believe so. Please pull
Pretty
it.
sure.
And they're not guaranteed to spawn in outposts, I think. So they're really hard to find. The way that they've had to like work around not killing them easily feels really unnatural.
How can you explain more? Because I'm uneducated on this.
Let me fact check. I know they've been adding in the snapshots. Oh yeah. Oh. This article is about the upcoming mob in Minecraft 19 for the mob. For the mob in Minecraft Dungeons that inspired the allay. See the Wisp.
Oh
yeah, I remember the Wisp.
Interesting.
I don't see how that. Like the Wisp is a very different mob in Minecraft Dungeons.
I guess just the idea of a little floating thing that helps you.
But the Wisp did not help you in Dungeons.
I haven't played Minecraft Dungeons beyond the beta.
Because
it runs like
played through the whole thing with my significant other, and it was very fun.
It runs terribly on my computer because I have to.
Oh my god, that's deleted. Never mind. Sorry.
I have to run it through Parallels, which is a virtual machine, which then emulates x86 in the virtual machine. So it runs terribly on my computer. What was I checking? Okay, LA. Here we go. There's a lot of changes here. LAs are now immune to damage from their owner.
Weird.
They also have natural health regeneration. Increase the health from 10 to 20. So the owner can't kill the LA, and they have increased health.
I'm just now learning that allays are linked to an owner.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Didn't you? How does that work, though? Behavior. Is it when the owner is the player that gives the allay the item?
I think so.
I believe so.
They can use a Totem of Undying, so if you have an allay that's sorting just Totems of Undying...
That's really funny.
And they have natural health regen. I wish, like, all pets had natural health regen.
I think the pig just bred with a chair.
Oh, no!
It's a chair pig.
Oh, no!
Oh my goodness. Wait, can you breed 2 chairs?
I don't know.
Close enough together, maybe.
Put them close enough together? Do we try? Here.
I don't want to try. I don't.
Quick intermission.
Give me the stare. Give me the stare.
Oh, rest in peace, grass plot.
Wait, this one's already been bred, so we gotta do.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, we gotta do it yours.
Sometimes we just get off topic. Sometimes we just start playing Minecraft.
Yeah. But anyway, LA. It's a very interesting concept.
This one isn't old enough yet. We need to wait.
Gross.
I hate this so much.
I don't want to be chairless.
If you leave them for long enough, I think it'll work.
No more chair breeding, please.
Oh no. The pigs.
The chair baby lived.
My goodness.
Hold on, I need a name
so
tag.
we're probably getting near the end of the podcast here. We've been running for a little while. There's a lot that we haven't talked about. I think what I would like to do, because like we're saying, 1.0 only comes out on June 7th, which is just over a week away from the time we're recording this. I think there's definitely a lot of room for us to come back and talk about everything as a whole once it actually releases. Because we have spent a lot of time here covering kind of the, I guess, for lack of a better term, controversies. Controversy. Don't know if my brain just isn't. It's still more early for me. Still, we've just been talking about the controversies when it comes to 1.19 and how the wild update has kind of let it down a little bit. So I think when 1.19 does release, we can actually reflect on the features themselves, and obviously then we can actually have had a chance to play with them properly in game. Because like Jay just pointed out, we haven't even really touched the Deep Dark, which I mean we have kind of. We talked a lot about it more in a development sense, but not in a practical kind of sense. Because like what else is there? Let's quickly run down the list. I've got it up here. I mean, if you look at additions, frog lights, frog spawn, mangrove leaf, mangrove logs, planks, the wave, the propagoules?
Mangrove propagules.
Yeah. All the mangrove tree stuff, mud bricks. Oh yeah, we haven't reinforced deep slate. But I guess that's all part of Deep Dark with Skulk and Skull Catalyst.
That block is interesting, how it does nothing really.
I think that's what everyone's also kind of interested in a little bit. Chest boats, recovery compass, allays, frogs, tadpoles, warden. Oh yeah, like how the warden smells players. That's really funny.
Sniff, sniff.
The weird paintings that are just like in the game, but you can't do anything with. Boat chests. I mean, so there is a lot, realistically, but it's all kind of, there's a lot self-contained within specific areas, rather than being a lot of multiple editions. It's like everything that they have added has a lot of little things to it.
Big networking changes. Chat messages are now encrypted. And more technical features for people who deal with Minecraft's protocol. But that's not really gameplay, so
no.
It's still helpful for developers in Minecraft. That's always good. I love seeing more development features.
Well, it's like 1.15. A lot of people look back at that. Oh, they added bees, but like they made that clear from the start that a huge part of 1.15 was bug fixes.
Yes,
which they fixed a lot of.
Bug fixes. Bugs, bees,
endermites.
Wait, what about endermites?
Bugs.
Oh, I was going to say, endermites weren't added on 1.15.
They should add the redstone bugs back from Minecraft 2.0.
That would be amazing.
Where's my bluestone?
Oh no.
Yeah, where's my bluestone? Where's my happy wither?
The pink wither.
Oh, the Love and Hugs update. Inspiration for the whole reason existence is called existence is because of the Love and Hugs update.
Really?
Really?
Yes, you guys need to go back and watch my 1 year anniversary video. I tell the whole story.
Watch any
here.
podcast where the name existence comes up, and you would know.
Yeah, and I'll go, did you know?
Oh, by the way.
By the way, yeah. Oh, Love and Hugs, guess what? April Fool's snapshot, I'll have a fun fact about that for you. Yes, no, that anniversary video is kind of a good one in my opinion, because it talks about the whole, like, how existence came to be. But yes, I've been rambling on long enough. Shall we continue on this topic after post-release 1.19?
Yes, that sounds fun.
Yeah, because none of us have really had a chance to play with the features yet.
No, I don't tend to touch snapshots, really, to be honest.
Yep.
I load a snapshot for about an hour at a time maximum, usually only 20 minutes, to look at like the new thing once a month. I'll like, hey, look at this block. I could see a use for this, and then I don't build anything with it, and then I play with it when it comes out. Except because I don't normally... I'm still basically playing 1.16. Multi-MC has helped so much for that, by the way, of me swapping. But I like I said, Deep Slate is entirely new to me, and it's revolutionary for building. It's so crazy.
There's lots to cover. But yeah, well, does anyone have any final words? And before that, Jay, would you like to wave us goodbye? Send us off.
Why, yes. I can attempt.
Otherwise, I'm more than happy to.
Feel like, I mean, we've talked about a lot, but overall, I think we're all very excited for 1.19. Yeah, excited to play with these features.
So anyway, guys, that's going to be it for the podcast today. Thank you all for tuning in. We've had a wonderful host of guests, including but not limited to mcpeachpies, ItsPurpleJay, iGalaxy, and myself.
Oh no, I can't.
So thank you everybody for coming out and listening with your ears.
Or eyes.
We'll see you or eyes or noses, whichever you prefer. Don't forget to click that bell.
Click that bell button.
Jay, take the off.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Farewell.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Oh, no. How did you move that?